So this is another pair of Yeezys that I picked up in the sale. So probably aren't going to be grabbing too many now. Most of the ones that I have is the foam runners and slides. However, I have a couple of pairs of some of the other models, but not to the extent of grabbing all of them. But this one I saw for half price. I had them originally, and obviously I paid, I think, maybe around £200, and this is when they first came out a few years back. But I didn't sort of feel like at the time they were worth the £200 that I paid for them, so I kind of basically returned them. And also, I think distinctly remembering that they didn't fit me very well. They were a size too small, I think, or too big. I can't remember now. But this is the Yeezy 700 MNVN, and this one is in the analog colorway. And you can tell by the box as well. It's one of those ones where it's I suppose one of those silhouettes that isn't really popular for everyone, and it's I suppose a bit of a Marmite sneaker, especially this particular version of it, which is a laceless model. And this laceless model was released originally in 2022, so it came out as a, I suppose, slightly adapted version of the original MNVN. And at the end of the day, a lot of these Yeezys that came out were just made for sort of lifestyle really, and this one's no different. So the details, the colour is analog, so they've been very descriptive, and they just repeat analog 3 times. I think the Yeezy and also Adidas colour scheming is a bit off, and you can't really tell what the actual colourway is, but from obviously looking at the sneaker, you can sort of see it's got the silver, white and black. So I imagine the white is also more on the sort of cream side, because certain parts of it look more creamy, especially like the fused overlays. And in the tech itself, it's got Adidas Boost in there, so you can see that here. It's this sort of polystyrene type look to it, and it's one of those sort of boosts where it's not going to be, I suppose, a soft boost like you'd get in the 350 V2. And this has, as far as I know, a EVA midsole, so it's a newer type of trainer that was released, so I don't think they'll be using polyurethane with this, so I imagine it's EVA. And it's mainly made up of sort of synthetic material, so it's almost like this mesh sort of nylon material on the top, and obviously the other sort of panels are pretty much synthetic. This is not sort of leather in any way, it's all sort of plasticky type materials. And the RRP was £180, but I'm sure the RRP was more on these when they originally released, I think at 200 or 220. So with the comfort and sizing, they are on the medium to firm side, so just because they have boost in there, it doesn't mean it's going to be the same boost as what you get in a 350, which is more on the sort of softer side, but this is more on the firmer side in my opinion. It gives you a lot of support. The midsole does feel very sort of rigid and tough, so I think that's what maybe sort of plays partly into the firmness of it. So when I feel the boost on here, it has give to it, but I think because it's been enshrouded in this midsole, it kind of makes it feel a bit more firmer on foot, and I don't know if that kind of starts to feel better over time. And in my opinion, these have really good support around the arch. Inside you can sort of see it supports you very well. It's very sort of has a sort of curvature going on, and just basically feels quite sort of nice on foot, and it's sort of quite contoured as well, the insole. And because of this sort of nylon synthetic meshy type upper, it has no sort of wearing time really. I think the only thing that you would have is an issue with is, because this is a laceless sneaker, it's one of those ones where it's going to sort of keep you locked in place, and that does sort of loosen up over time, but just be wary of that initially it'll be a bit of a tight fitting, and some people don't like that. And I'd recommend going up half size with these, and for me I went up a full size just because, and with socks on my toes are about here, which is perfect for me. Adidas size is a bit all over the place in my opinion, but obviously if you have a wide foot, go up a full size, but everyone else probably half a size would do. And these also have really good traction, so it's a classic herringbone traction. A lot of the Yeezys kind of use this style of traction, and it works well and is tried and true and tested, and there's a lot of grip going on throughout the outsole as well, and I also like the funky look of it as well. So with the look and style, I think this one in particular has even more of a futuristic look because of the fact that it's using this nylon type material on the upper, and it's got this sort of sleek design, and I also like the fact that this white creamy version of it just pops a little bit more than any of the other colorways in my opinion. And I also like these kind of fused overlays that they put on here as well, which is quite a new tech as well. So, and then you have it around this sort of lace area as well, and it just looks really cool. It's quite sort of subtle at the same time, so when you sort of look at the trainer, you kind of then start to notice all the little bits and pieces on here. So I think it, you know, in my eyes, I think it's a very cool looking trainer, and it's quite, like I said, futuristic. And I like the fact that it's got sort of light colours really, so it kind of matches up with anything. With this particular one being white and black and silver, it works really well with pretty much anything that you wear. And I also like the fact that they're laceless, and it can be worn any season with these ones. I think because of the nylon upper, I think you're okay during the summertime. Obviously it will get a bit hot because of the tongue being this sort of thicker padded material. But overall, I think it's one of those trainers that you can pretty much wear any time. It feels slightly on the heavier side because of the midsole, but still pretty cool. And it's a good one to wear casually, in my opinion. It's got that sort of sporty vibe to it. But I don't know if I wouldn't really dress these up. I think with the wave runners, they're, you know, you probably dress them up a bit more formal. They have a bit more of a, I suppose, a classic look to them, whilst this one looks more on the futuristic side. And like I said earlier, they're laceless, so I really like that. Anything with no laces in there is good with me. I just like to sort of slip on my shoes and trainers, and it's like no effort really of having to sort of tie up laces. I just like it. Obviously the look, they haven't done too much to it apart from sort of removing the lace loops, and that's why it may, you know, for some people it may not look quite right, but I don't mind that. I think it looks quite cool and quite sleek. So with the final thoughts, I like the futuristic look. I think it, you know, like I said earlier, it just looks really cool, and just one of those trainers where it's a Marmite sneaker, but at the end of the day, I think it looks really good aesthetically. And I like the simple colour scheme as well, so just being in black and white and silver. And just the fact that it's laceless, so that's a, you know, another pro for me. I really like that. The cons, I think the nylon material, so it's a plus and a minus. It's nice because it's you know, one of those ones where you can sort of wear it and feel sort of comfortable in it, and it's quite sort of not a bit of breathability to it, but at the same time, you know, I think when you're sort of wearing it more and more, it will probably start to crease up, as you can sort of see here, and may look a bit tatty. And I'm not sure over time how that will look, and whether that will become more of a aged out sort of colour. And I think it's a Marmite sneaker in the sense that this silhouette may not be for everyone, especially with the laceless ones, because some people like having that look of the lace on the trainer themselves, and you may not be just a fan of this. And if you're not a fan of this, then maybe the classic wave runner is probably more your bag. So with the ratings, I give the look and style a 4 out of 5 for this. I think it sort of misses the mark. I think you know, when I'm looking at the other Yeezy models, I think the wave runner is still the best version of these types of sneakers, but I think it's still very nice to sort of see them do something different and more futuristic. And the comfort, I give it a 4. It's on the firm side, like I said, but it doesn't feel uncomfortable, and because you have this sort of contoured insole as well going on, it feels really nice on the foot, and really sort of I suppose on the plus side, but just realise the midsole is quite on the heavier side. And the quality, I give that 4, mainly because of the I've taken a point off for the mesh upper. I think this was sort of nylon upper, sorry. I think if they had a different material on there, I would have been happier, but you have to kind of make do with that material. And the pricing at £180, I'm sure originally they retailed for £220 when they first released, and it was a bit too much to pay for them. At £90, obviously you can't go wrong. I think the most I'd probably pay for this trainer in particular would probably be about £130. And that's why overall I give the score a 4 out of 5. I think it's a decent sneaker. It looks cool, and you know, if you're kind of into your Yeezys, I kind of like the fact, like I said earlier, just the futuristic look of it. I just really like it, and the fact that it's laceless, and it kind of reminds me of the cross between a Wave Runner and a 700 V3 as AL, so which is really cool. So for me, it's a nice buy for the price.